and welcome back to the Overthinkers podcast. I'm your host, Nimbus, and I'm back here with the day one co-host, LD Lights. You already know what it is. You already know what it is. So I'm not going to waste any time. It is red alert for Dragon Ball fans right now. Dragon Ball fans, I need you to stand up, salute, do what you need to do.
Don't worry, it's not about reading.
Yeah, we don't do that here. I would never say that the R word around Dragon Ball fans. Anyway, Budokai Tenkaichi 4 after 15 years. Like literally people have
so many memes.
People have gone through so much in the amount of time that they've played this childhood game.
Yeah.
That people were almost in tears when they announced this.
That was a year away from being able to drive.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like people were literally like borderline toddlers playing this in some situations.
Yeah.
And now they're like full grown adults with lives, and now their childhood game is being continued. I want people to understand how crazy this is, because the Dragon Ball community is literally on fire right now. I was up last night seeing everyone you could possibly imagine who posts Dragon Ball content uploading a minute video or
side, like friends of theirs on YouTube that don't even really like Dragon Ball that much are posting about Dragon Ball.
People who haven't posted in weeks are posting about Dragon Ball now. Like it's funny to say that it's nothing about the show, nothing about the manga. It's the game. Let's go. It's crazy because it's been like really quiet on the Dragon Ball manga side because Goten and Trunks taking the spotlight, and now they're, I guess, going to fight zombies repetitively. And I honestly didn't really
because it was supposed to
come
out in Halloween. I still say it got delayed for some reason, and it was supposed to come out around Halloween.
Would it have been too much to just have them delay it till next Halloween? Like, I just doesn't. Yeah, I feel like it would.
People would have lost their minds because they wouldn't have gotten the show.
I guess they shouldn't even have announced it, and then like just kept pushing, and then just released it after.
They should have just made this like a side comic. That's it.
Yeah.
Just a filler. Not even filler, just like something to read until they get the actual story going.
Yeah. But to be fair, Budokai Tenkaichi is in early development.
That's true.
So they need something here to keep them going. And I think the hype.
I think that's honestly just going to be enough.
I was going to say the hype, the teaser trailer for that was hype. Honestly, 90% of it was just old Budokai Tenkaichi gameplay. But what you see,
better.
The new graphics, even if it's not even exactly what they're going to be, everyone had a thug tear roll down their cheek. Like it was beautiful. I don't think there's another word that could describe it. It was beautiful. I was sitting there just watching everyone be so happy yesterday, and I love to start it off with a positive story because sometimes I'm a little cynical on here, but when there's a positive story, I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy to have it be what it is too. Exactly. Like we've been talking about Budokai Tenkaichi for years in the community, just mods and fan-made Budokai Tenkaichi 4.
Yeah.
And, our favorite YouTubers like Dotto and Syriax and Rhyme Style dropping, the three idiots doing all their Budokai Tenkaichi stuff
on mods, so they have the latest characters and stuff like that, and the powers that they would have.
I just need everyone to understand this is a big moment for us Dragon Ball fans. I know it's not everyone will care, but like when this drops, you're gonna be having this in your face. I'm just gonna warn you now. I'm just gonna give you the warning. It's gonna be everywhere, and I don't think the game's releasing this year, but. Yeah, I'd be surprised.
I would be, yeah.
I'd be surprised.
If anything, close to Christmas.
That would make the most sense. Just
damn near the end of the year, because I guarantee that's when the show was going to start to come back, toward the end of the year.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's going to come back this year. There's been speculation it's probably not going to come
2024
back this
is what
year.
So that's what I'm saying. Maybe they'll start a teaser with the show and drop the game. You know what I mean?
I guess since they have a bunch of free space, it's not like Breakers is doing anything.
They got Giant Ape.
Who knows how long that's gonna last though? I feel like that hype was like real crazy. It was
that hype was real crazy because it released, people played it, and then turned the game off.
Exactly. It was like, oh, okay, cool. Like the hype was real crazy in the sense where like it was up there and then just immediately fell off. Where it was like, oh yeah, okay, that's it.
Because I feel like Breakers was just a means to an end, like to get Tenkaichi 4 a thing. You know
I feel
what I mean?
it feels like Breakers was more of a money grab to
I didn't
do
want to,
something.
I didn't want to say it like that because I feel like it's not fully like that.
But you
for
can't
them.
really break it down any other way because it's
Yeah.
like that was the game mode that was trending. Like Among Us has been out for like what
Yeah.
4 years now,
Yeah.
something like. Actually, it dropped
Yeah.
like pretty much during COVID, so it's been even like less time than that. But that dropped. A bunch of other games like that dropped.
Yeah,
and
I
then
was gonna say
Dragon Ball.
Project Winner.
Yeah, and then Dragon Ball hopped on like mad late, and it's kind
Yeah,
of
if it was earlier,
yeah,
it would
they would have
still
made
it would
mad money if they dropped it
it
2
was
years ago.
still yeah, exactly. It would still be heat.
But like that game mode's kind of fallen off, sort of like how Battle Royale is kind of fallen off, where like
Yeah.
it still has players, but you don't hear anyone really talking about it
Yeah.
as much, or you don't see
Yeah.
like there was like news channels talking about Battle Royale.
Yeah.
It was weird. Like
Oh,
I don't know.
I knew Tenkaichi was a thing, like real thing, because people were comparing on the what is it, Storm Connections.
Yeah, Storm Connections.
I saw a bunch of memes where it was like Storm Connections versus Tenkaichi 4, and I was like, I mean, hands down Tenkaichi. And then I read into it and I was like, oh, it's real.
I dropped a comment on Afro Senju's video about it, and I was like, it's crazy how we get Budokai Tenkaichi 4 after all this time, but then Storm's gonna drop Storm Connections. And it's crazy how Naruto, who needs to go hard because they actually have like a show running and everything, is kind of dropping the ball with, holding back on their game. While
That's
Dragon
the
Ball,
thing. They've been steadily releasing episodes and chapters. Dragon Ball hasn't.
yeah, Dragon Ball did need the win, but it's just funny that Naruto didn't, do kind of the same thing before they even had a chance to, because it was like if they would have done Storm 5, all of their stuff that's running right now would have just been pretty much boosted. Like everyone would have been hyped.
Yeah.
So yeah, Budokai Tenkaichi 4. Hopefully we get a release date for it in the next few months. That's at least I can hope for.
Maybe a beta. Just to see what it's like. I don't even need to play it. I know it's not going to be anywhere near completion, but I just to be able to see it, you know what I mean?
When they say it's in early development, I think we're probably going to get a beta in the fall.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I just want to see.
I do think we would get a beta before the end of the year, so there is that to think about.
Which I'm just so excited.
It depends how exclusive the beta is going to be, because sometimes they're like, oh, only the streamers and the big influencers.
Like I get that,
so
and I get why people would be upset, but at that rate, I just want to see it.
I was going to say, at least I'd be able to see it at that point. Some people would be mad about that. Other people would be grateful, and I can't really blame either side.
Exactly. Yeah.
I wish we had it too.
Yeah. That's it though.
So yeah, you know what? I'm gonna keep probably talking about that in the next few months, and as we get more information.
We get a date, he's gonna count down. Just to let y'all know.
I'll set the timer really, but it's been a wild week, because the problem child, the undefeated YouTube boxer.
Boy.
He, I guess, heard Budokai Tenkaichi 4 was coming out, and he was like, well, I'm going to get folded in real life and virtually, so I might as well take the L sooner rather than later.
Well, it's not getting talked about now because Tenkaichi 4 is a thing.
Yeah, no, honestly,
he for sure knew it was going to happen because he took that dive.
Yeah. Honestly, the marketing for it was bad just because, like, since they've canceled the fight, like, twice already, no one really knew if the fight was really happening or when it was happening.
I never know when the fights are ever a thing. I always just catch the aftermath, and either that or the build up to it. I was like, okay, so I've heard this name because I never looked into it, but I've heard that he was gonna fight this guy so many times, and then I was like, so they're just going fight for fight now? Like, what's happening? And then I heard about the actual fight.
Tommy Fury putting the pause on Jake.
The pause on him.
He honestly, it was split decision, which is kind of surprising just because I watched some highlights, and yeah, honestly, Jake got a couple good hits in, but like Tommy Fury he was hitting more consistently. He was just hitting them all over, body shots, face shots. He was just sneaking them in, and it's really just. I think everyone was just waiting for this moment, because this is the first real boxer that Jake has been up against. And we know that, his brother Logan went up against KSI, lost, went up against Floyd Mayweather somehow after a loss, and then proceeded to lose again.
Yeah, money.
Yeah, money.
Because he made sure Mayweather got even more money.
Yeah, and that's a different story because Logan apparently never got paid, so
Oh,
he was mad about that.
oh.
And of course, Floyd's gonna take that paycheck and run. That was probably his plan the whole time.
The whole time.
Like honestly, Logan's kind of dumb for kind of taking that because it's like if I'm Floyd, it's a YouTuber. No one cares if I'm gonna burn him as I'm Floyd Money Mayweather. It's not like he's a professional boxer.
No,
he's
just an actor at this point, trying to play a boxer.
So he's gonna
get his bag and go.
He's gonna have his promotion team promote it and take his bag and leave.
Fine, sure.
And so with Jake going up against Tommy Fury, it's just been like a long time coming thing, I feel like, for a lot of people, because it's like he's fighting this YouTuber, fighting this basketball player, fighting this MMA fighter who I think Anderson Silva was retired. So I think he was a retired MMA fighter.
Yeah.
And so now, Jake finally got set up with someone who's
a current fighter who can actually hold their own in the ring.
And I've seen some Tommy Fury clips over the years, and like he's not like a crazy good boxer,
but just someone.
But like honestly, you didn't need a crazy good. Like anyone who knows boxing and isn't old as hell, to be honest with you, probably is going to be able to take Jake. That's the only reason I'm not sure if I know this is going to be crazy. I'm not sure if Mike Tyson going to be able to get in the ring with Jake. He's kind of old, bro.
What did you just say to me?
I'm not sure. I'm just not sure.
No, this is a promoted thing.
Yeah.
That they're trying to do. Mike versus.
Well, Jake wanted it to happen, but I'm just like, I'm just not sure. Well, if they go shorter rounds, Mike would have it. But if they're still going to go like 6+ rounds, I think the judges would probably give it to Jake in the split decision.
Unless Mike just still has that mean hook.
He's powerful, but like, I just don't think Mike has the speed anymore.
That's what I'm saying. If he gets lucky and puts him out early, I mean, yeah, but also, he's an old man now.
That's what I'm saying. Like
his health might not even be up.
That's what I'm saying. Like Mike's not really up for that. Like he's not going to try and go hard in the paint. It's not like he's going to be able to train.
I was just going to say, like, yeah, you can see the videos of him still throwing punches for fun or training like that, but there's no way he's going to be able to really get in the ring and take blows.
You have to think about like whatever boxing match you see. There's like 9 months of training, 8 months of training. I just don't think Mike Tyson's in the mindset to really get into that training again. And like, sure, if it was a quick, sparring match, I think he could definitely put the paws on Jake and win it. But it's like, if we're talking full boxing match, I don't know, man. I'm not saying it's for sure 100% Mike Tyson would lose it. I'm just saying, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Just because
really deep down, just want to say Mike. Deep down, just because.
Me too, but Jake's just so much younger.
That's like, yeah.
And you saw how tired they both were. Tommy Fury and Jake were at the end.
Who knows? Fight. So, Mike might be that animal that could just keep like, you never know. Mike is just that different type of breed.
I haven't looked up how old Mike Tyson is these days, but man, he's aged good, but I don't know, man. There is a lot you have to do to keep in shape for boxing. And I don't want to say Mike Tyson would lose, but like I've just been like a judge.
He's 56.
Yeah, like he's getting towards the 60s. Like
30-year difference because Jake Paul just popped up.
Yeah, like
26.
Yeah, Jake Paul's not even in his 30s yet. So I'm just like, I don't know. If it's going to come down, if we're talking a full boxing match, it come down to just stamina. Like Jake might win that. And really, I think that's what lost. It's funny. I think that's what lost Jake this fight because Tommy Fury is used to this life as a boxer. So maybe Mike Tyson would come back and have a second win that, that'd be crazy for almost 60-year-old, but he still is in there. He still throws punches like he said, so maybe he would. But I think that really was what got Jake in this fight is because Tommy Fury's in his prime essentially, and is used to boxing at this level and for the amount of time.
Endurance, that's all it is.
And
really.
He's been doing it since he was a child.
Yeah.
So his endurance,
like Mike has two pretty much, but Mike's he's yet again
30 years older than
Jake,
so it's like,
I'm not saying he doesn't have the strength and the speed anymore. I'm just saying he might not be able to keep.
I think
that
he
speed
definitely has
strength
the
up.
strength. I think he definitely has
no
the strength.
doubt.
I just don't. The speed department is where it's like he had the speed back in the day, but like that stuff you can't just like hold on to forever without training.
That's what I was just gonna say. Like he'll have quick bursts if anything, but then he'll gas himself out too quick by doing that.
With someone
That's
like Jake
just
Paul,
that's a risk. Period.
yeah, Jake Paul's pretty much like a country kid. Like he doesn't know like technical stuff, but like he's gonna sit there and brawl for however long he can.
He can take punches.
So he's hard.
Pretty much all you really need.
So yeah, I'm not surprised by the Jake Paul Tommy Fury fight. Really, I just think that
long time coming.
I just think Jake went into it a little too cocky. I know that's his thing, but like when you're facing a real boxer for the first time, he should have showed a little bit more respect. It's crazy because he showed Anderson Silva a lot of respect, and I understand that though, because Anderson Silva, one of the GOATs in MMA. Even I have seen tons of Anderson Silva clips. But like when you're going up against Tommy Fury, who's been, he's from a boxing family. He's been boxing since he was a kid. Like you should have a little bit more respect. Like obviously talk shit, but like,
I mean, you got to. That's how you get the promotion.
Yeah, exactly.
But like literally, he's a current up-to-date fighter.
I would have been a little bit.
It's not like he's been gone for a couple years and has ring rust or anything like that, my man.
It was more of like, you just should have been, respected his power more of like, okay, you're stronger. You can say that, but okay, you should be like, this is going to be a good fight type of thing. Like him trying to downplay Tommy Fury the whole time was just not believable to anyone. No. So I just found that funny. And it's kind of a quick story, but if you guys want to look up clips, because I just thought, it's been a long time coming for a lot of people. Jake Paul getting knocked out by an actual boxer, and to be fair, it's his first actual fighter. So I thought it was worth watching and covering because it kind of showed how Jake's been, setting up his chess pieces throughout his boxing career. But for the next story, this is kind of a wild one, but we're gonna hop into the movie side. And I don't know if too many people, I saw the trailer for this drop a while ago, and I don't know if too many people actually talked about it outside of the movie sphere, like movie critics and movie film reviewers and stuff like that. But they're dropping the cocaine bit movies. I wanted to ask everyone who's listening what their thoughts were of like the new Peter Pan and Wendy trailer. I almost wanted to call it just Peter Pan, but I was like, you don't really see Peter Pan for most of it. You get like small clips of Peter Pan, and I
can like Peter Pan in general, ever since I was a kid, was the most crazy ass fucking Disney, because he just kidnaps kids and leaves them on the island and leaves the kids to fend for themselves as kids forever.
And tell them don't grow up.
Yeah. I'm going to be back and fight you. I'll kill you if you become an adult.
Yo, if you grow up,
it's pause.
Just don't do it, actually. You don't
I'm going to feed you to the gator. You don't even know.
You don't want to know what would happen if you grow up. So, yeah. Honestly, this might be crazy, but I was a really big Peter Pan fan back in the day as a kid. Like, they had the classic Peter Pan stories, but I want to remember the author. But there was this Peter Pan series back in the day where it pretty much took the Peter Pan story and just blew it up into like a Marvel series.
Oh, what?
Where it was like a 3 or 4 book series where it talked about Peter Pan having to fight like these shadow demons. Essentially, it goes crazy into it, and like Wendy's helping him out and stuff, and like the Lost Boys are his crew, but they're fighting more of like this Illuminati like group that is like taking control of like treasures and stuff. And like they have a bunch of different settings that they go to. And it was a really cool story.
Weird mix of Disney and Indiana Jones. I feel
it was
that's so cool.
Yeah, it was like some Treasure Island mixed with Peter Pan.
You think that's what the movie's going to be?
Mixed with, I don't think that's what it's going to be. But that's why I had high hopes for the Peter Pan trailer. Okay. It's because they could do some crazy spin-offs of Peter Pan.
That's what I was going to say. Could this be a setup, you think?
The thing is that the story I even read too was by Hyperion Books, which is owned by Disney. So like they have access to that story. They know of it. And I'm interested to see if they're going to change Peter Pan or if they're going to just do the classic, OG Peter Pan movie that they did before and just recast and make Tinkerbell black. Which I don't have a problem with Tinkerbell being black. It's just, if you're not going to change the story and it's just going to be,
the same
thing, I just don't see why you needed to do that. And if it's going to be different, I really hope that they actually utilize like Tinkerbell in a good way, or else it just seems pointless.
Also, because if they make Tinkerbell the same as they did in the cartoon, she's gonna be a bitch.
That's why I'm like,
why would you make? Yeah, come on.
See, that's
I didn't
why,
even put 2 and 2 together, bro.
That's why I'm like,
what?
because everyone knows like Tinkerbell had like a crush on Peter
Yeah.
Pan, but Peter Pan's like a human boy, and just making her black just doesn't seem like it was
Why?
necessary. It really just doesn't seem necessary, and I'm not trying to say that like just this specific situation that it's wrong either, because I really do think that the more we get in with this, like they just do it to try and get more viewers, and like not even in a good way of like, oh, we're gonna make these people relate and try and root for these people. It's, oh, we're gonna just throw them in, give them a side plot, give them a shitty script, and boom boom, we did our good deeds for the year. And that's why I'm worried about it, because when I see a bunch of like, they changed Peter Pan to, I think he's like Hispanic or something now. They're changing a lot for no reason, it almost seems like. So I just hope there's reasoning behind this and that they've tweaked the stories to go with this.
I mean, like, Peter Pan would make more sense as like Spanish or Hispanic because he's a pirate. Like
Exactly.
A pirate culture.
I do think that there could be good reasonings for all of these. I just hope that they're not just doing it just to do it. And just throw it out there and be like, yeah, Peter Pan's now, a person of color. Tinkerbell's now a person of color. We're winning, right? Awards? It's like, consume content, don't ask questions, and consume next product. I'm good, actually. I'm good. I hope it's like a good story. And if it is just a 1-for-1, like OG Peter Pan, what it was back in the day, just Captain Hook, then with no real depth to it, I'll be disappointed, to say the least. And I don't know what other people are expecting from Peter Pan, because I'm actually kind of surprised they brought it back. Because, like, yeah, it could make money, but like, I don't really think anyone really cares.
They could have
about
made
Peter
it
Pan.
into a show.
Yeah, well, that might have been the test of waters. But I really think these executives just be like, well, we have this old title, but we haven't done anything with.
I mean, think about it. They lost Winnie the Pooh.
It's just,
they don't want to lose anything else, so they're just gonna.
Of
Not
course,
saying this movie is forced, but like they're gonna try to just keep it there.
see, that's the problem. It's like, if you're gonna lose an IP, you don't just force a movie to save it. Like, I hate that. Like, at that point, you might as well
because they're classic books before Disney.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
Exactly. So I'm like, you shouldn't.
All the princesses were classic stories before Disney, and then Disney just swamped them up.
So yeah, like, for the most part.
I mean, yes,
there are some that Disney did make.
I mean, yeah, you're right. But, down the line, yeah.
But for most of them, it's just
the base stories.
It just sucks that you're just doing stuff to not have it be, copyright free for the public. Because it's just, now we're literally just being stopped from having good products just because you want to keep the IP and barely make a profit.
Because that's what I was just going to say. Like, who knows if a different director or a different like studio got Peter Pan, they might have been able to actually work with it better.
And speaking of the Winnie the Pooh thing, I will segue into that a little bit. The Winnie the Pooh movie actually was really bad.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a horror movie.
It was a horror movie, and I just feel like I will say though, it's really bad, but really good for the director's pockets.
I mean, yeah,
because it's Winnie the Pooh.
Is it so bad that it's good? Do you know?
It's
like one
funny.
of those horror movies.
It's kind of funny. I'll be honest. It's kind of funny.
Like some of the first like Jasons and all that, where they're so cheesy, you kind of like respect it more.
It's not to that level. It's more of like it gets a giggle and then it gets back to being kind of bad again. Yeah. It's kind of just, it goes from back and forth.
When I first heard about it, I had high hopes, and then I saw the poster. And I was like, this is going to be so bad. This is going to be so bad.
There's not much story to it whatsoever.
No.
And it's just, it was kind of a money grab as well.
Because let's be honest, they could have been toys.
They could have been fire.
They could have been like a horror movie where the toy, like they all just,
I think it could have been fire. Honestly, like it's one of those things where I wish someone else would have bought that up and it could have been fire. Because that'd have been a cool horror movie.
Yeah.
That'd have been really awesome.
Yeah.
And other than that, I think for our last story, we had it was raining particles, you said?
Oh, yeah.
I forgot.
I looked into it.
I was going to say, this is his story. I didn't really look into it too much, but I figured I'd throw it in here.
Did
it say where it was?
Yes. a couple states on the East Coast. Where
I
did
think
it
you said
go?
Virginia was one of them.
Yeah.
And
Where
it's
did the story
just like a
go?
mystery, like chemical particles.
It was from a dust storm
okay.
out
So
in the West Coast, in like Texas,
that
West
sounds
Coast,
about right.
West.
That sounds about right.
Texas and all that, but there was also an instant where like a chemical tanker, an engine, tipped over or something and knocked over, and people thought that was the cause of the dust.
And so the dust storm picked some
Because
of
people
that
didn't.
up.
No.
Or they thought that they picked some
Yes.
of that up.
And then news outlets were running with that story that the chemical is causing it. But it started from the dust being picked up and, noticed by other states. But since the states were close enough to where the dust already comes from, they deal with it. So as it got past them, other states were like, oh my God, what is that? Because they're just not used to it.
They're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they
what
had no
is
clue.
that?
Yeah.
They saw it coming over the horizon. They were
'Cause-
like, oh God.
The article was pretty much like, yeah, they didn't notice it until after it got closer to the East Coast.
Huh. So it went through a couple states and everyone was just like,
Exactly.
yeah, it'll
That's what
probably
Exactly.
go
So they
away.
either have dealt with it enough or they're just like, whatever.
The West Coast probably wasn't even phased when it was out there. They're like, yeah, smog.
Because it went through Texas and all that states. It started with just because they're barren to begin with.
Once it gets to the East Coast, we're like, oh, our clean air getting fucked
Yeah.
with? Who's mom? I'm going to find somebody. Who's man?
Where's the manager?
All right, that's the one good thing about the East Coast. Don't mess with our clean air.
I mean, yeah, true.
I will say, like West Coast, it's just the smog and it's kind of it's bad.
Yeah.
And the East Coast, we ain't got nothing.
The West Coast is gonna sink anyway.
Yeah, well,
California's
one more big earthquake and it's not gonna look good.
Crazy.
It's not gonna look good.
Crazy to say.
Yeah, and honestly, to bring that up real quick, I do want to just quickly. I want to send out some quick condolences to Turkey.
Yes.
And because that was another bad earthquake. And I've heard some stuff about it through the last couple of weeks. I haven't done too much research into it, which is why I haven't covered it. But there was like 2 earthquakes like back to back.
Yeah.
So I did real quick want to say, quick moment of silence for them. I'm sorry about all that's happening in Turkey right now. And my thoughts and prayers are with them because that is wild. Another earthquake like that. And I couldn't imagine how that would turn out. So for the last little bit of it, there was that we had our chemical dust tornado, which honestly was just it was mind blowing. And I had a little bit to go with that just because it's been weird with the the Chinese weather balloons and the chemicals and the dust storms and everything. I had just one more little story that I wanted to show to everyone and hopefully that you see more of. But there's been presidential clips going around since we're talking about the U.S. that I wanted to end it more on a positive note. But there's been presidential clips going around where they have like Trump and Biden going back and forth, where they'll be gaming on like COD and they're roasting each other, or they'll be playing I saw one where they're playing Storm and they're roasting each other.
Oh my God.
I just want to see how many people can find a different presidential debate in quotes because
Marvel versus Capcom 3, please.
Exactly. So whoever can find the most unique one of that, please tell us in the comments. And to end it off, I'm just gonna go with our last minute announcements. There was one album that came out a few months ago that I wanted to bring up. It was Lecrae's album, which now I'm not going to remember the name of what the album was, but it was with Andy Mineo. He did stuff with No Big Deal. I'd honestly, if anyone is looking for some new music, I'd pull up Lecrae, Lecrae. He's actually really good. And I was listening to some of his older and newer music because I was kind of slacking on his stuff, but I've been listening to him since high school, so I can vouch for him. Anything for you, my man? Anything coming up? Any new music you've been listening to? New shows? Maybe a comic?
The only new thing that I've been reading is One Punch and One Piece.
The new One Piece chapter came out. People went crazy.
Yep.
I don't know where One Punch is right now, but
do you want me to bring
I knew that Satsumiki
yes
is pretty much his sidekick at the moment because
No.
Genos, I guess, got kicked to the curb.
Where we're at right now, like they're in a fist fight.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's crazy.
But it's not really a fight. It's more of
he's
like
just Holton. He's just like, yo, calm down.
that's why I'm like, she's kind of because
I'm just waiting for the one cockback of his fist, and it just says death behind it, like it did with Genos. And then he just stops again, and she's just like, you know what? I'm gonna calm down.
Well, they were even cool before they were fighting too. And
exactly. And she just it was just, but still, I mean, him and Genos were just. He was like, go all out with me, master.
Yeah, well, he was trying to train though. He wasn't being pissy like she is with this. Well, she has her reasons to be fair, but the only other thing I could think of for new stuff is like that new Don Toliver album dropped.
Yeah,
he dropped with Travis Scott. There's Future verse on there.
Yep.
Justin Bieber threw a verse on there. I thought that was interesting. And other than that, it's been pretty quiet. I've been watching some My Hero Academia. If no one knows what that is, it's still dropping. That's getting to like the end of the new season. Deku's about to fight his classmates because he's reached that point of edgelord.
Yeah.
So it's been good.
His full Sasuke arc is complete.
Yeah, and so the One Piece is dropping. We got Storm Connections. If anyone else has anything they want to leave in the comments or any other topic suggestions, please just let us know. Try and help us out here so we can try and keep the steam rolling. I've been your host, Nimbus. I've been with the co-host, LD Lights. Thank you for watching. I hope everyone has a good rest of their day.
See y'all later.